Oh my goodness, dude, dude, I really need to tell you about this. I need to get this off my chest right now. It is Wrestlemania season, dude. The grandest stage of them all. Every year, we get bangers on top of bangers. Remember Cody Rhodes versus John Cena? Remember that banger and how that one ended? Dude, this year we're leveling up. Dude, they spoiled us last year with that main event. This year, they're leveling it up. We are so spoiled. Night 2 main event, we have an almost 50-year-old CM Punk versus a 40-year-old Roman Reigns. This is going to be a classic in the making. Night 1 main event, we have Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Dude, the builds for this year have been so good as well. I just lied straight to your face. How do you feel? Listen, this is my first video. I haven't even made my channel yet, but this is just something I wanted to talk about. I don't care who watches or how many people see this video, but I just wanted to start something up so I can talk about some wrestling. And you know what? This year's WrestleMania, what's a bigger thing to talk about, right? Or, you know, it's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be the biggest year in terms of, you know, things like content creators and their numbers boosting because everybody's excited for Mania, right? This year, no sir. It is quite the opposite this year. I think I read somewhere there's still like 15,000 tickets available for purchase, and like the seats are, you know, crazy expensive. That's for another time. I'm not going to get into that right now. That's what I want to talk about today is this year specifically, this WrestleMania, and why, like how it feels so it just kind of feels like another pay-per-view. It feels like the Great Balls of Fire. You remember that one? That's some crazy ball knowledge. I don't know where I just pulled that one from. And I also don't want to sound like one of those people who just hate on everything no matter what. That is, I'm not going to try to be that person, but in this video it's going to sound like I'm that person, but it's for a good reason, I swear. There are some things that I personally have liked, like Randy Orton turning heel, even though the fans were, you know, chanting for him to beat Cody's ass. I did enjoy the segment where he did turn heel against Cody Rhodes, left him all bloody. It kind of had the shades of that, you know, the WrestleMania 40 build. I'm not going to compare it, but you know, I just lied to your face again. It kind of had shades of that to me, where Cody was, you know, left all bloody. It looks like he got murdered in like that 2009 Randy Orton style, just kind of came right back out of Randy. So, you know, I kind of got myself hyped for that because that was actually, to me, a genuinely good angle that, you know, built hype up for what was going to happen the week after. I kind of don't even remember. Hold on, I gotta look this up. What even happened the week? I don't remember. Holy crap. Bro, why is Jelly Roll on my front page? Oh yeah, so on Monday Night Raw, he did a call interview with Michael Cole, but there was still a camera on Randy Orton, so why is there a call? It's wrestling, I don't know, man. But yeah, he went on Monday Night Raw for some reason to do a call interview with Michael Cole. You talk about 2009 Randy Orton, brother, that was 2009 quality. I don't know what was going on with that, but yeah, he just did a call, you know, sounding all ominous? What is the word? Trying to sound like the classic villain type character, even though no one is really booing Randy Orton. They're actually booing Cody Rhodes, you know? It's kind of flipped. It's a weird situation. And then on SmackDown, he sat in a chair and then cut a promo that I don't really remember. And then there's this whole thing with Matt Cardona for something. Bro, it's just a mess. I don't even know. Cody Rhodes came back and they had like the slowest brawl of all. You want to talk about old? That looked like two grandpas going at it in the retirement home. Bro, I sound like a straight hater right now. I promise you I don't hate on everything. I sound like it right now though, my goodness. But the thing is, this is stuff to rightly criticize because you had an angle from what, 3 weeks ago that was building up hype and people were genuinely, you know, hyped up about this. And then you just kind of spend a couple weeks fiddling around doing nothing, and then this brawl happens on SmackDown, and security comes and nothing, you know. It's just like, we've seen this type of thing like a million times. Like, where's the stuff where it's like you think outside the box and you're doing something that either hasn't been seen in a really long time, or like the deep emotional stories, you know? It's just like, okay, Cody Rhodes, you got beat up a couple weeks ago. You're gonna come out and, you know, you're gonna brawl with Randy. It's like, okay, that would have been fine if this was, you know, we still had like 12 weeks left of building, but no, we got like 3 weeks and we're still doing this stuff. Charging like $500 for the worst seat in the arena for this build? I don't think so. By the way, the reason I really haven't gotten to the other matches yet, or like the other things besides the main event, is because I genuinely don't know what's happening, because I couldn't care less. And yes, I understand I do sound like a hater and I hate on everything, but the only things I remotely care about this year are the main events. And I think that that isn't a hot take to have this year. And it's weird though, because like leading up to WrestleMania season, there's always that one either mid-card title or that just one mid-card non-title feud that always kind of steals the show and is like, oh my goodness, this is actually being built really well and I'm invested in this. Even though there's no title on the line, there's always that one feud each year that you can just invest in, that there's really no title on the line, but it's more just about personal vendettas and things like that. This year, it kind of just feels like everything besides the main events are just not even cared for whatsoever. Like the women's mid-card titles, dude, I don't care, bro. What are we doing with it? They're defended on like random SmackDowns and stuff, and that's cool. You know, have your title matches on free television. I'm all for that, but there's nothing really being built out of those. And yo, the women's tag team titles, oh my goodness, I forgot about that. I don't even know who has them, bro. It's just this year specifically, it just feels so odd and just so dry and lifeless. Even last year, people were complaining about the booking then, but there was still genuinely good stuff to hook your teeth into. But this year, it's just like the company is saying, okay, the first thing on our list is to please the investors, and then second is the quality of our product. I don't really watch the weekly shows like that. I only catch the highlights on YouTube. I watched a full Raw like 2 weeks ago, and oh my god, there was like half of it was commercials. That reminded me why I don't watch the weekly shows anymore. Because literally you will get 3 minutes of wrestling and then commercial, and then the last 3 minutes of wrestling, and then a backstage promo, then cut to commercial again, then cut back to someone walking in the building or pulling up in their vehicle, and it's like, why am I watching this? What? There's really no time given to build anything, and it all feels so rushed because there's got to be like an ad placement somewhere right after a segment, or just another commercial break after like a random tag team match nobody cares about. Basically, the format right now is watch the opening segment, get some filler, last segment, that's it. And even the opening segments and the last segment, as of late, just aren't hitting, and it's just like they're tone deaf to what the audience wants, and they don't even know what they want anymore, because a couple weeks ago Drew McIntyre had the title and his reign was like what, only a couple weeks, and then on SmackDown, you know, Cody Rhodes got an opportunity for the title, and y'all know what was gonna happen when that match was announced. And I apologize if this video feels everywhere. This is off the cuff right now. This is a freestyle. Call me the next Kendrick, please. You're not going to call me that. But yeah, I think you understand the point in what I'm saying is everything this year specifically. Last year, I know, you know, there was a lot of complaints, but there was still some stuff you genuinely could get excited for. But this year, I don't even care to watch the show or tune into anything. Like there's like a couple moments where it seems like, yes, we're finally getting something. And then the week after, it's like, okay, we're back to the same crap we don't want. Like, you know, CM Punk's boiling point was him getting called old. We was waiting for the boiling point, and you know, we were thinking of ways about, okay, what's going to be said that's going to turn this thing personal. It was him being called old. I think it was like 2 weeks ago, CM Punk and Roman Reigns were going to have, I think, their second or third promo battle of this feud, and you know, people are actually, including me, I was excited for this because it is two people who are known to have really good mic skills, and we were wondering what's going to happen when they go out there and do what they know how to do best, which is talk. And we were wondering what's going to be that boiling point that turns this thing into the brawl we all knew was going to happen. In the eventual moment that we thought was going to be insane, you know, a crazy shot thrown out there, you know, some of their history coming back up and it getting really personal. We thought that was going to be the point where things blow over and this thing turns into an insane brawl, and now it's really personal. No, that didn't happen. Roman Reigns stood in that ring, looked directly across from him, looked in CM Punk's eyes and said, "You're old." And we were watching this and we thought, okay, it might, you know, it's going to ramp up from here. Okay, Roman Reigns called CM Punk old. What is CM Punk's response to this going to be? That, ladies and gentlemen, was his response. And stuff like that, it just feels so underwhelming and so rushed. It's like they're booking week by week, but the week they're booking, they don't know what's going to happen the next week themselves. It's like they book 1 week and then take the break. It feels like, you know what it feels like? It feels like when Vince McMahon would book Raws and SmackDowns and then change the script like 10 minutes before the show went on air because he didn't know what he wanted. It's kind of feeling like that. And no, I'm not one of those guys who says bring Vince back. You know what? That is odd. That's another thing I could go on about, but I'm not going to do that because this video I've been recording for 30 minutes right now and I'm sweating and I you know what? I'm kind of losing myself. But the point is, this year's WrestleMania, there is nothing really I'm actually that excited for, and a lot of people can say that this year. I've been a wrestling fan since 2011. 2011, you want to talk about bad manias. Even 2011 through 2020, you know, even when there were no fans, there were things I was still excited for. This year, and I am saying this not to be a hater, but just to be real about how I feel about it, you might feel different and how you feel is wrong. But this is the first time ever where I have personally felt I'm just not excited whatsoever. It just feels like another pay-per-view. It actually kind of feels like they're just building to like one of those B-level transition show pay-per-views for me. I could be overreacting, but that's just how I feel. I really don't care for anything, and that's genuinely how I feel. And that sucks because something like Roman Reigns versus CM Punk, that sounds like a dream match, but you know, and even Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, that's a lot of history right there, but they're not, both of these matches have a lot of history, but they're not really bringing up any of the history that they've ever had for some odd reason. It's just, you know, come out every week, cut a promo, brawl, security breaks it up, and then cut to the end of the show. It's basically what's been going on. And yeah, rest of the card, I don't even care enough about to even mention. I don't even know what's happening. I haven't even been keeping up with the rest of the card because that's how much I don't care. But yeah, that's me letting out my opinions that none of you even probably care about, and probably no one's gonna watch this video, and that's fine. I've let things off my chest that I've been feeling for a while now, and I feel better. This camera's my therapist right now. But yeah, guys, if anyone does watch this video, thank you guys so much for watching, and comment down below if I should make anything else and what you would like to hear me ramble about, if anything at all. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and God bless, my friends. Thank you.